I'll be talking about how we can enhance digital literacy and accessibility for inclusive learning, and it is a research. And the case study is the National Open University of Nigeria, open and distance learning institution in Nigeria. So digital literacy and accessibility are critical factors in distance education because it's one of the effective components in distance learning, especially in open universities where we have learners from diverse populations, learners from diverse situations who rely on the digital platforms for academic engagement. And the rapid advancement of technology has brought about the increased need for students to have adequate digital skills for them to navigate this online platforms. There's a diverse population across the nation, Nigeria. We have 119 study centers. We have 45 main study centers. We have 36 community study centers and 38 special study centers across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria: the South, the Southeast, Southwest, Northeast, North Central, and North. However, if there are no policies, if there are no frameworks to guide accessibility and to guide inclusive learning, there could be an exacerbation of this issue. This study sought to explore strategies for enhancing digital literacy and accessibility at the National Open University so that we can create an inclusive, equitable, and technology-driven distance learning environment in Nigeria. It was reviewed based on this concept. We looked at the concept of digital literacy areas and the disparities among the urban and rural learners. We looked at the strategies that we can implement to enhance digital competences, and I had the theoretical framework as a foundation of the study. Now, I used the UNESCO's definition of digital literacy in this study, which means the ability to access, to manage, to understand, to integrate, to communicate, to evaluate, and to create information safely and appropriately through technologies for employment, for decent jobs, and for entrepreneurship. And digital literacy includes skills such as computer literacy, ICT literacy, information literacy, media literacy, which the aim is to empower people, in particular the youth, to have a critical mindset when you engage with digital technologies and to use violent extremism. And I would say in the face of information overload with the advent of social media, AI, we've had lots of information overload, misinformation. So when we have learners who are digitally literate, it will help them to build their resilience, to know what to say. So we look at the concept of accessibility. In ODL, we're looking at how educational resources, technologies, and contents are available and usable by all learners, regardless of who they are, regardless of what they have. And it involves creating an inclusive learning environment where everyone, whether with abilities or disabilities, whether you have a limited internet device, can effectively participate in learning. And one of the ways we can do this is by providing alternative formats for content, by using assistive technologies, and by designing user-friendly digital platforms. I'll quickly go to inclusive learning. Is the practice of finding and delivering educational experiences that cater to diverse learners. Includes those that come from different background, different geographic. Access to education, access, and equal opportunities by eliminating any kind of barrier that would hinder such a learner from getting education. And one of the features includes the flexible learning schedules, which is one of the things that distance education is known for. They've been able to access their digital learning materials, content, that's in terms of your learning materials, in text, in audio, in video. The theoretical framework for the foundation of this study, I combined the TPAC, that's the technological pedagogical content knowledge, and the digital equity framework to give it a well-rounded foundation. The TPAC was developed by Mishu and Kola, and it's a framework that highlights the intersection of technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge in teaching and learning. I also looked at the digital equity framework. This ensures that all students, regardless of background, have equal access to digital resources, to tools, to skills that are needed for full participation in online learning. And the relevance of this is that it helps to bridge the digital divide. As many students that might face internet access issues or device unavailability, it gives the foundation for this. It ensures that students with disabilities that need screen readers, it addresses socioeconomic barriers, and it encourages institutional efforts so that there can be an improvement in internet access and inclusive e-learning policies. Theories. In the area of technology use and learning, while TPAC examines how educators and students can use technology for learning, the digital equity contribution ensures that all students have equal access to these technologies. In terms of the pedagogical approaches, while the TPAC identifies the best teaching methods for online education, the digital equity framework ensures the methods are inclusive, ICT skills. The digital equity focuses on how to provide equal training opportunities for everyone. And in terms of accessibility and inclusion, while the TPAC determines effective e-learning strategies, the digital equity contribution ensures that education is accessible for students with disabilities. And in terms of policy and infrastructure, while the TPAC guides the integration of technology into learning, digital equity advocates for policies that will bring about internet access, policies that will bring about affordability for all learners, irrespective of their social. Have a population of 20,000 students in the NOUM. We have 9 faculties currently. I used the sample size of 1,481 students, and I selected them using a stratified random sampling technique. I stratified based on the 9 faculties to ensure proportional. However, I actually calculated the sample size, which gave me 384. But for generalizability, I decided to use 1,481 because the data was collected through an online survey. That was the number of responses that I got. So the demographics, based on this study, we had the higher participation of male respondents than the female, and the majority of the respondents were between 25 and 34. And based on the definition of digital literacy, UNESCO's focus is on youth. That age group respond, followed by 35 to 34 years. Why NOUN was created when it was because we wanted to work. Our motto is work and learn. And that's why it was created at first. So while you were working, you could also get a degree, a postgraduate degree, whatever degree, to add to what you already have. And then we had more people from the urban areas and more people from the rural areas. Highest proportion is from the management sciences because in the NUA, that's where we have our largest number of of learners, and the majority were undergraduates. We also had alumni, minimal participation that responded to this. So now, I used a four Likert scale because I wanted an accurate response. I wanted a nuanced response, and I used it was on a 4 Likert scale. So I looked at the current level of digital literacy that most of our learners have a moderate or high level of digital literacy. And one of the skills that they have is how they participate in online discussions and management system. What we do is that for every learner, before you take your TMA, your test, you must participate in the discussion forum. If you do not participate in the discussion forum, test is not going to be open. So the reason why we are enforcing that is to build that online process, to build a sense of belonging and to build their critical thinking skills. And based on this study, they are able to also navigate our LMS effectively, and the use of digital collaboration tools are effective. They can also evaluate academic resources. The lowest digital literacy skill is that they are unable to troubleshoot basic technical issues. We could say that. We looked at the major barriers, and the major barriers that the students said was that they had frequent internet connectivity issues and that the data costs were high, and it made it difficult for them to access learning materials. Which they didn't come with a lack of technical support. It wasn't much. We looked at how their digital literacy skills were. We discovered that, of course, those that are in the they had more training, they had more physical learning spaces, and we looked at the strategies. The strategies is that the students said is that they would want the institution to partner with organizations for affordable free internet, and that there could be an awareness about digital learning tools, making the learning platforms easier to navigate, and they talked about the mentorship or the peer support programs, and that there could be regular trainings on digital skills. And finally, to integrate digital literacy training in all courses. So what are recommendations? Recommendations is that we can partner with major internet service providers to provide low cost of free internet data packages to students, and there will be monthly digital workshops, materials into downloadable offline materials, PDFs, videos, audiobooks, and we could share those contents on DVDs, on files where you do not need the internet. We could also create a digital literacy peer mentorship system where those that are digitally literate can assist those who have less skills. And then in our community study centers where we do not have strong internet connectivity, we could set up community digital hubs where there are internet and data and devices, and also to integrate the digital literacy into the course curriculum. So beyond Nigeria, we're looking at how this is not only applicable to NOU in Nigeria, but to other distance learning institutions where students face similar barriers to digital learning. And then we could also partner with other international development organizations that aim to promote inclusive. Found that rural students face significant digital literacy gaps by partnering with internet service providers, establishing community learning hubs, and providing offline learning materials in other formats, such as audio, will significantly reduce these barriers. Institutions who face similar challenges have a strategic opportunity to position itself as leaders in inclusive and accessible learning. Thank you.